Today we're trying to respond to retirement-related questions on Reddit. Oh, I actually really do love doing this. Let's get started. Contemplating 401k withdrawal in the unemployment subreddit. As a software engineer who has been unemployed for nearly a year, I am struggling to make ends meet. With few job opportunities on the horizon, I am considering using my 401k savings to cover my expenses. Unfortunately, I cannot think of any other viable options. While I would prefer not to deplete my savings, I am unsure of what else to do. I am reaching out to others who have been laid off to see how they are coping with the financial challenges posed by the current economy. This person reached out to Reddit to see what their ideas were. Now, because I'm a compliance geek, there's two things in here that are contradictory. In the first line, the person says unemployed for nearly a year, and towards the end, this person says laid off. Now then, because this is very important, and we found this out in the early days of COVID, that there's a legal difference between being laid off and being unemployed. If you are laid off from your employer, you are not eligible for distribution, all right? That is not a distributable event, because when somebody is laid off in the eyes of the Department of Labor with how they govern 401k plans and the IRS, you are expected to come back to work, all right? So if you are technically laid off from your job, you might have to see if you can benefit from an in-service distribution. Then if you are laid off, and then maybe a participant loan, which is not taxable, that's an opportunity.
Interesting. Yeah, that is true.
And our next submission, Katherine, is, this one.
Can someone explain 401k, Roth 401k, and a Roth IRA to me like I am 5?
Yeah, we're going to try. Okay.
I need help.
Yes, you do.
I have talked to financial advisors, bank, watched YouTube videos, hopefully yours, friends, and can't understand all of these in basic terms. I make $135,000 a year, and my company is offering a 401k or a 401k Roth, and I don't get it. I'm 37. If I stay with the company for 5 years, I get the 4% match. If I leave earlier, they take it back, which likely I'll job hop by then. If I do get that, these are sponsored by work, and a Roth IRA can be a personal decision.
Okay. People on Reddit talk about 401k plans and Roth 401k plans like they're two different things. Well, my employer is offering me a traditional 401k plan and a Roth 401k plan. No, they're not. They are not sponsoring two plans, okay?
One plan
Your
with two
employer has a 401k plan. That 401k plan has multiple contribution sources, two of which are pre-tax 401k, otherwise known as the traditional, and the after-tax Roth 401k or the Roth 401k. All right. So what you have is a 401k plan, one plan. You, as the employee, get to make the choice between how much you want to have taken out of your paycheck. That's choice number one. Your second choice then is what percentage of that amount is pre-tax and what percentage of that amount is Roth.
Because it could be 50-50, it could be 25.
0, 100, 100,
right,
0, whatever. We don't care.
Right.
All right?
But it's not a different plan.
But it's not a different plan. And the difference,
it's a tax decision.
Right. The other error that we need to correct here is their idea of a vesting schedule. It says, if I stay with the company for 5 years, I get the 401k match. If I leave earlier, they take it back. No. Depending on what kind of match it is, some matches are vested 100% right away. If it's a match based on automatic enrollment, you're 100% vested after 2 years. If you have cliff vesting, you're 100% vested after 3 years. And if you are going to have it spread out after 6 years, that's the longest, you are going to be 20% vested after 2, 40 after 3, 60 after 4, 80 after 5. Those are the statutory minimum vesting schedules. So the statement that you're going to get nothing if you don't stay for more than 5 years is incorrect, because there is a vesting schedule on that will get you to some percent sooner than that. Oh, this one, I'm sorry, I find this one sweet, silly, goofy. What? No. Okay. Late on my 401k at 29 years old, again in the retirement subreddit. Hello, I am currently 29 years old and make $105,000 at my current job. I've never been good with money except for savings. I currently have $40K saved in my bank account. However, I have completely neglected my 401k. For the first time, I checked my 401k Fidelity account and saw I only have a balance of about $2,500. I know that's awful, but I just raised my contribution to 10%. Am I an idiot? Is it too late for me to benefit later down the road? Would love some insight. Wow, lucky you, you're doing great. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. You're doing fantastic. Do have a couple of corrections though. Compliance geek in the room. Okay, there is no such thing as a Fidelity 401k plan. Okay, I know that's not the exact words this person used, but a lot of times on Reddit people call, I've got a Vanguard 401k plan or I've got a Fidelity 401k plan. No, you don't.
But the other thing you didn't say right away too is this person should have logged in sooner just because you always want to be the first person to log into your account.
We've completely forgot cybersecurity. Holy cow.
The whole thing that, you forget about it, you don't log in for a while, hopefully...
Right.
Yeah, do it first so somebody else doesn't log in for you.
So we're not talking about investment advice here. We are giving cybersecurity advice. The most vulnerable part of a retirement plan is the human. Okay, your record keeper is probably doing a relatively good job or a really good job of cybersecurity. Your employer and payroll company are probably doing okay. The biggest problem, the biggest weak point is the participants. And this person was part of that problem because they've had an account balance for a while and they've never logged in, which means their account has had the temporary password for God knows how long. This is, I feel like we need to be playing really dirgy music in the background. Can we have something like funeral church? Okay, which is a real word. Okay, is a 401k even worth it anymore? I contribute 6% of my monthly paycheck to a company matched 401k. It currently has about 5K in it. My boomer father insists I continue to contribute to it, and it's just what you do as a working adult. I know the company match is essentially free money, but at the same time, I'm locking away a chunk of my paycheck into an account I literally can't touch for 30 years or more. I'm 29, without getting taxed like crazy. I make decent money, but also have accepted the fact that with the current state of the world, I will probably never be able to buy a house, truly retire, have genuine savings, afford to have kids, etc. In the next 5 to 10 years, we are facing the effects of climate change, the potential for pretty serious world and government issues. Honestly, anything could happen at this point. I don't even know if I'll make it to 60 years old. Just feels like I'm throwing my money in the trash and I might as well have slightly more money now instead of holding on to some old practice that doesn't really make sense anymore for someone at my age. If I see 60, cool. But a lot of crazy shit will happen between now and then, and I'm probably going to be cashing my 401k out with the world on fire. Okay, hang on, I need to take a drink. I'm not going to take too much offense that he obviously refers to boomer as something derogatory. Thanks a lot, guy. All right, let's look at this from an ERISA 401k point of view. All right. Yes, he's got the free money part right. Okay. More money saved, for later on is always more flexibility. All right. If this person is concerned about what is going on economically, do some research to figure out how to invest in turbulent times. If you're very, very concerned about what's going on in the world, do some research to figure out how you should be putting money in your 401k plan in that kind of situation.
So one of the features of the plan, if you're putting money into a 401k plan with every paycheck, is the cost averaging feature. So you could
dollar cost averaging, right?
Dollar cost averaging. So you could actually say that with a little bit of volatility going on, you actually are correcting for it some by doing it from your paycheck because
Correct.
You buy more stocks when they're cheaper, you buy less stocks when they're more expensive.
Right.
So you're already doing that. If you're super concerned about what your money's going towards, then look at your investment strategy and maybe do that. Right? You can invest in different kinds of things.
Don't invest in Shell, more solar
But I
energy
do
or
want to
something.
say the whole idea that you have no access to your money and you'll never buy a house, you can take loans from your 401k plan to help you buy your house.
So going back to this from an IRS, how do we talk about things without therapy and without giving investment advice is do some research, get an understanding of what financial professionals consider your risk tolerance to be, and then make investments in the plan appropriate with your risk tolerance and your view of what's going to be happening in the future.
How often do you check your retirement account statements? IRA, 401k balances and investments. How often do you check them and why? Daily, weekly, monthly? When the mood strikes? What kind of mood is it when you look at your...
Okay.
Is it terror or is it happiness?
You're not
I don't
reading.
know. I'm interpreting as I go. When there's market news, out of habit, to update planning sheets because you're drawing with that frequency?
Yeah, that's what he says.
In the planning stages, I can check before meetings with advisors and also when the mood strikes.
Date nights?
I was gonna say,
Sorry. Okay.
Probably every couple of months or more often. Less often for
Social Security,
and
not
pension statements.
Yeah. Okay. Personally, I'm much more of a set it and forget it kind of person.
I would say, check it. It's not bad to check something quarterly because you're just wanting. Corrections are so much easier to make if they're caught early, right? And so, yes, in a perfect world, everything goes perfectly. In a non-perfect world, sometimes there's issues with contributions or, it's just good.
So this person, I think, is asking the question from the point of view of checking the rate of return of your investments and figuring out what you should be doing with future deposits and maybe rebalancing your account or something like that. I'm assuming that's the point of this question. But you and I are approaching it from the point of view, check often enough to make sure that the money that's being taken out of your paycheck is going in timely into the right investments, all right, however frequently you think you need to be doing that. Don't forget that. Is your employer contributions going into the right source? And then, of course, because of what the record keepers tell us about cybersecurity, logging in every so often, maybe changing a password, okay, so that they know it's you, helps actually to secure your account from cyber criminals. And again, that's got nothing to do with paying attention to your investment rate of return, but if somebody goes and steals all your money, it doesn't matter what your return was.
And some of it, when you have an account, often you can use a risk assessment tool. And I would say, depending on how risky your investments are, you might have investments that you can look at every quarter. But if you pick something very high risk and the market is volatile, then maybe you do check it more often.
Right.
If you don't want to be looking every
like we
day.
talked about with another subreddit, if your account has a loss and you sell, you've locked in your losses.
Right.
So, all right. Okay, next one.
What to do with 401k? Leaving my very first job and not sure what to do with my 401k. I'm glad you have one though. Not a huge amount in there, only around $10,000. Can I leave the money in the company's 401k? Should I move it to an IRA or a CD? Cash it? What's the best option? Any guidance is helpful.
Okay. The thing is, if their vested account balance, now the total account balance can be over $10,000. We don't know what this person's vested account balance is, because if it's $5,000 401k and $5,000 match, they may have a vested account balance less than $7,000. If this person has a vested account balance of more than $7,000, they can leave it in that plan until the later of, right now it's going to be like 76 or 77 with what RMDs are going to be, with I'm guessing how old this person is, or this company terminates the plan. In other words, this person can leave their money in this plan in there for a very, very long time. If they're going to do that, make sure your employer knows what your current mailing address is, what your current mobile phone number is, and what your current personal email address is, and pay attention to the business health of your former employer to make sure they're still in existence and not trying to get in touch with you to roll your money out. All right, so those are what you get to do with your money in a plan where you have more than $7,000. Now then, should you move it into an IRA or a CD? Well, the CD is an investment advice. CD is not a tax structure. CD is investment advice, so we're not talking about that. So your choice is then move it into an IRA, cash it, or move it to your next employer's 401k plan, which you did not put on there. So cashing it out is no.
Taxes,
bad.
taxes.
10% excise tax, presuming you're under 59.5. You pay taxes on it. It's a loss. This is where we have a massive retirement gap.
It's called leakage.
It's leakage. This contributes to the retirement readiness account. If every time you change jobs, you cash out whatever you had, bad, all right? So you either roll it all into the same IRA or roll it forward to your current employer as soon as you can, all right? Yeah, because you don't, high fees in a 401k plan, those are a lot less expensive than paying taxes right now.
If you're an employee wanting to learn more about 401k plans, click the link in the description to download our helpful guide.
Correct.
If you like this video,
I did.
watch some of our other 401k videos here. Thanks for watching.
Take care. Like,
Toodaloo.
subscribe, comment, you know the usual stuff, all right? Don't forget to keep those cards and letters coming.